Hello students, I hope you all are fine and doing great in your studies. Greetings from Saraswati Sisukunj, Vagwala, Bose. Students, today I am going to give a video on listening and it is mainly on doubt solving. As you know that I have given an assessment task in my previous video. That assessment task that we are going to discuss over here, there are total 10 questions that we have and it is all these questions are going to be discussed. Before that, students, it is applied English and I would like to give a brief explanation about your examination that you are going to have in month of October, and it is on listening. There are total 4 parts you will have. Part 1. This is part 1. One more also part 1. Part 1. Part 2, I write here, student. Part 2. And here also part 2. Okay. Each part contains total 10 questions. That means you need to listen in total all 4 parts. But it is part 1. Here also it is part 1. This is part 2. Here part 2. So there are total 40 questions that you are going to have. Here also how many questions you will have? 40. That means 40 fill in the blanks you will have. Okay. Here also 10. Yes, you need to face how many questions? You need to face 10 questions. In part 2 as well 10. 10. Here also 10. And these are the questions. Okay. I write here questions. Here also 10 questions. Yes. 10 questions in each part. Okay, students. So in part 1, how many questions? 10 questions. In part 1, 10 questions. Part 2, 10 questions. In part 2, 10 questions. So total, students, you have 40 marks. Total how many? 40. Because one question, 1 mark. Okay, so here 10, here 10, here 10 and here 10. So total how many questions that you are going to have? 40 questions and 40 marks. Okay, so I write here 40 questions and 40 marks. So you need to attend all 40 questions of each part. Each part contains 10 questions. There are total how many parts we have? There are total 4 parts. But I have given the name part 1 only. Here also part 1. Part 2. Here also part 2. So how many parts you will be having? You will be having total 4 parts. And how many questions? There would be total 40 questions and you need to attend all 40 questions and the marks would be 40. Okay. So this is all about listening examination. I write here listening examination of applied English. Okay, students. So this is listening examination of applied English. Understood? And total 40 questions, 40 marks. So you will be having this examination of applied English in month of October. Now students, I am going to begin doubt solving of this video, and I have given an assessment task in my previous video. Based on that, I am going to give doubt solving. Students, you are going to do listening for the second time because I have already given the task in my previous video. But I am giving an assessment task for the second time. You do listening, write your answers in the answer sheet and we will check what answer should be. So I will write my answers on the board along with the questions and then we will discuss what answer should be. Now students, this is all about examination of applied English listening. Okay, and then I am going to play listening track here and the listening track is here. Start listening and write your answers in the answer sheet. and then I will write my answers on the board, and then we will have a discussion. Students, start listening.
First of all, a warm welcome to Barker's Country Safaris. We're delighted to have you all on board for this season. I know you've all been told a bit about the company when you had your job interview, but I thought it would be worth telling you a bit more about ourselves. Barker's was set up 10 years ago by myself, John, and my then girlfriend and now wife, Nancy. We started it initially just as a hobby. We felt that there was a good opportunity to share our love of the countryside in this part of the world with the many visitors who come here. As you know, most people come for the beaches in the summer, but there is so much more to the region, and this is what we wanted to exploit. Nancy and I were born near here, and as teenagers we went climbing, kayaking, whitewater rafting, potholing, and just straightforward walking. This district is in our blood, and we love it. While we were still at university, we started taking small groups of visitors out into the national park in Nancy's brother's old Land Rover. We'd drive them around the back lanes and into the forest. We'd also organise rock climbing tours for friends of friends. Then, each year, without us having to advertise, people came back to us to ask for more excursions and trips. So, 5 years ago, we gave up our other jobs to focus full-time on Barker's Country Safaris. Now, 2 years after that, we set up the activity tour part of the business, and 1 year ago, we expanded into organising activities for school groups during term time. Obviously, this was a massive challenge with all the health and safety requirements, but it's proving a great success.
You now have 30 seconds to look at questions 17 to 20. You now have 30 seconds to look at questions 17 to 20.
Anyway, we'll certainly not be dealing with school parties during the summer holidays. Our clients for the next 3 months are mostly family parties or groups of friends, and I'd like to talk a bit now about the tours we offer and what your responsibilities will be. Our most popular excursion is the Woodland Tour and Trail. Now, often this is sold out and we have all of our 10 jeeps in convoy with 8 people in each jeep. It's a lot of fun. These tours really offer a taster of what we can provide. So as both driver and guide, it is important that you do a good job here so they come back for the bigger tours. I will talk about the commission package later. As the summer days are so long, we have 3 tours each day, but you will not be expected to work on more than 2 of them. Morning tours start at 8 a.m. and go to midday. Afternoon tours are from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. and then evening ones 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. All the tours follow the same route, and you should have made yourselves familiar with all the key information. This was provided to you in the information pack you were sent when you accepted the job offer. This is important, so if you haven't had time yet, please do so now. Our second most popular tour is the Family Exclusive. Now, this tour is for the whole day and for only one group. Usually it is just one jeep, but sometimes there are two if the party is large. These tours go from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. and include lunch at the Brown Bear in Lower Middleton. We have a number of different routes for these tours as we don't want our premium clients being made to feel that they are part of a large package deal. You will be told which route to take with your weekly schedule. Now, I'd like to move on to these specialty tour packages. These are the ones that we're keen to book people on once they've done the woodland tour and trail trip.
That is the end of part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 3.
Part 3.
You are going to hear a lecture about the Miners Hotel.
Students, now I am going to explain what answer should be. I have written the questions and I hope you have been listening and you have written your answers in the answer sheet. Now there is information about Barker's country safari. Before that, we always need to focus on complete the notes below. Write no more than 2 words or a number for each answer. So always keep in mind you need to follow the instruction very carefully. It is no more than 2 words or a number for each answer. Okay, so there is only 2 words, okay, or maybe only a number. Okay, now the conversation begins and Barker himself speaks about that. Here I am like to give some more information about Barker's country safari and much more the information you have got when you appear for the interview. But even I love to share the information about Barker's country safari. And here the word is given established. Students, if you are listening very attentively, you can come to know that it is not established. The Barker's himself said that 10 years ago we have set this company. Okay, so here what you need to write 10 years ago by John and Nancy. And he himself said that earlier Nancy was my girlfriend and afterwards we got married and she is my wife. And we have started 10 years ago. But it is not yet established, but they have used the word set. Okay, they have used the word set. So always keep in mind, students, you get a lot of synonyms when you do listening. It is lot of information is being said. It is an opportunity for us to give love and share our information about the company to you. Now also the information he gives when we were born in Kenya, we used to do kayaking, whitewater rafting, pet hauling and kayaking. What is the answer over here? It is straightforward walking. I write here straightforward walking. Can you write walking? Straightforward walking. Why? Because if you write straightforward walking, there would be 3 words. So what is the instruction? You need to write only 2 words. So the answer is straightforward walking. Then enjoy kayaking, whitewater rafting, pot hauling and straightforward walking. But you don't have to write walking. Why? Because you cannot write 3 words as per the instruction. As we follow further, at university they have organized motor trips. Okay. As time went on, they started and focusing more on business, and at university they organized. Also they started organizing lot of camps and water trips. Here what they rock climbing. The answer is rock. Okay. The answer is rock climbing. Okay, students, and you come to know if you are done listening very attentively. Also, later on, they completely gave up the jobs and focus more on their company. Why? Because the business is expanding and hence they have give up their jobs and fully focus on company. If you are done listening very attentively, you get the answer. And what answer this is? Give up. Give up. Barker says that yes, later on we give up jobs, the other jobs, and we fully focus on the company. That is give up. Now here, years later they began running activity. After the business expanding and after some certain years, they began running activity. So after how many years? After 2 years. After 2 years, they began running activity. And also we started organizing at school and groups. So here, 1 year ago, they started activities for what? They started activities for school. So here the answer is school. Students, the information is given by Barber's Country Safari, and you can get all the correct answers if you are done listening very attentively. Very easy answers that you get, and I hope students out of 11 to 16 you got all correct. Now we are going to focus. We are going to discuss the rest of the questions 17 to 20, and just check it out how many you have got. Now we will discuss questions 17 to 20. Now students, we are going to discuss questions number 17 to 20. And as I have said before that, you need to follow the instruction. Complete the table below. Write one word or a number for each answer. So there should be only one word or a number for each answer. Now students, here we are going to discuss that there are two options. You can see the table here, name, size and times. And you need to, when 30 seconds given to you, what you need to do? You need to read the questions 17 to 18. It is clearly mentioned in the conversation. Now, Barker says that yes, in summer vacation we don't deal with the schools, but we have special tours that I would like to talk about. And the special tour is Woodland Tour and Trail, and it's a very popular. And there are total 10 jeeps, and people can, a jeep can contain total 8 people. Okay, so per jeep there are how many? Per jeep there are total 8 people can sit in the jeep. Okay, and usually in the summer we have total 3 timings, but you are not expected to work for 3 tours. So it is morning 8 a.m. to till 2 p.m. Okay, and 6 p.m. and the evening one more we have, that is 7 to 11 p.m. So there are total 3, but you are expected to work only for the 2. The second tour that we have is a family exclusive. If you are not listening very attentively, student, you can hear the second tour, that is family exclusive. So I write here exclusive. What is the right answer? The right answer is family exclusive. And it is done when usually there is only one jeep, but if there is a large group, we give extra jeep. So here I write the answer is large. Okay, large party, and it's a lot of fun that you have when you go for a family exclusive, and it's a very much fun that you have. And a whole day, okay, from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Now students, we have seen the questions 17, 18, 19 and 20, and there is much more information is given. When you book this family exclusive tour, you will be given lunch. Okay, so it is included in that. So students, this is very easy, but what you need to do, listening very attentively. All the easy answers that you get it when you do listening. Students, there are some extra information also given, but you don't have to focus for the extra information, but you need to stick to the filling the blanks, and you need to go for the answers. Okay, avoid extra information, but it is really good when you connect. It will be easy to get the answers. I hope students you have understood the questions 17 to 20. Now for your assessment task, I am going to give an assessment task. There you need to do listening, and I am going to give only part 1. There will be 10 questions and do listening and let me know that how much you have. But the listening track I am going to play for you is here and start listening.
Now turn to part 1. Part 1.
You will hear a conversation between an assistant at a health club and a man who wants to join the club. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5.
Hi, can I help you?
Hello. Yes, is your club taking on new members at the moment?
Oh, yes. We're always interested in taking on new members. Just give me a moment and I'll get an application form. Right, here we are. So, let's start with your name.
It's Harry.
OK. And your surname?
It's Simons.
Is that like Simon with an S?
No, it's Symonds. Most people find it rather difficult to spell.
I see. It has a silent D. I guess a lot of people miss that. Now, let me see. Can you tell me when you were born?
Yes, certainly. The 11th of December.
Thanks. And the year?
1996.
OK, good. Now, are you thinking of becoming a full-time member?
Probably not. What kind of memberships do you have?
Well, we also have off-peak membership, which is between 9 and 12 in the morning and 2 and 5 in the afternoon. And then we do have a weekend membership.
So a weekend membership is just Saturday and Sunday?
Yes, that's right.
OK. Well, that's not going to work for me. It looks like I'll have to be full-time. I'm afraid off-peak membership won't do, as I'm not free at those times, and I don't just want to be restricted to weekends.
OK, I'll make a note of that. Right, we have several facilities at the club, including a gym, a swimming pool, tennis and squash courts. What activities are you planning on doing?
Well, do you have badminton?
Yes, we do.
And table tennis?
I'm afraid not. Well, not at the moment, anyway.
Oh, OK. Well, I'm also very keen on swimming, so I'm glad you have a pool. I'll certainly be doing a lot of that.
OK, I've got that. Will you be using the gym?
No, I'm not interested in that.
OK. So just let me work out what the cost will be. Yes, that comes to £450 for the year. You can choose to pay annually for the full year or monthly. It's up to you.
Oh, I'd prefer to pay regularly in small amounts, rather than have a large amount to pay in one go, if that's OK.
Sure, that's fine. Right, I've got the most important details for now.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you will have some time to look at the questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
So, I'd just like to ask you a few questions about your lifestyle, if that's okay with you.
Yes, that's fine.
Do you do any regular exercise at the moment?
Yes, I do a bit.
Good. And what do you do?
Well, every few days I go jogging.
Yes, that's good. How long do you go for?
Well, it varies. I guess it depends on how energetic I'm feeling.
Yes, of course. Every little bit helps. Do you have any injuries at the moment?
Well, I did break a bone in my foot playing football a long time ago, but that's all healed up now. But in the last few days, I've realised I have a bad ankle. I think I must have injured it last week, and it's a bit sore now. But apart from that, I'm fine.
Right. I guess you might need to rest it for a few days to let it recover.
Yes, I will.
So, let me just ask you what you want to achieve by joining the club. Do you have any targets or goals?
Well, I suppose my main aim is to build up my fitness level. Is that the kind of thing you mean?
Yes, that's fine. All the activities you're going to be doing should certainly help you with that.
Okay.
And could you tell me what you do for a living?
Well, I was a student up until recently.
Okay. So what are you doing at the moment?
Well, I'm a charity worker.
Oh, that's fine. I'll write that down. Okay, nearly done. One last question. Can I ask how you heard about the club? Did you see it advertised or did you go to our website, for example?
Well, I've been looking for a health club for a while, and I asked my friends for suggestions, but they weren't much help. And then I was listening to the radio, and your club was mentioned. So I thought, I'll go along and see what it's like.
Great. Well, we look forward to having you as a member.
That is the end of part 1. You now have 1 minute to check your answers to part 1.